Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are so glad to have you with us again. For those of you who are returning, it's awesome to see you back here. If you're new to the channel, we are thrilled to have you join us for another exciting adventure into the world of rare collectibles, history, and some truly mind-blowing stories. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable and surprising tales in the world of numismatics. It's about a coin that could easily slip through the cracks if you weren't paying attention, a simple quarter, to be exact. But not just any quarter. This story centers around the 1992 quarter dollar, which, against all odds, became a symbol of unparalleled wealth and an unbelievable $283 million price tag. Now, I know what you're thinking. A quarter? Worth that much? How is that even possible? Well, let me tell you, this story is filled with surprises, twists, and a journey that starts with a simple piece of currency and ends with one of the most jaw-dropping auction results in history. We are going to walk through how this ordinary coin, which was minted in 1992, went from being a 25-cent piece of change to a rare treasure worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Stick around, because this is a wild ride you won't want to miss. The 1992 quarter dollar is one of the most unlikely candidates to become one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. When it was first produced, it was just one of the many quarters that were made that year. Like any other coin in circulation, it had a specific design, struck by the US Mint in Philadelphia, and was meant to serve its purpose as currency, circulating widely among the public without much attention. It didn't stand out among other coins. In fact, most people who used these coins in everyday transactions wouldn't have given it a second glance. But, as with so many great stories in the world of rare collectibles, it wasn't until much later that the true value of this seemingly ordinary quarter was discovered. It all began when a collector, who had been actively seeking out rare coins for years, came across this particular 1992 quarter dollar. At first glance, it looked like any other coin from that year. It was a standard Washington quarter, featuring the image of George Washington on the obverse, with the eagle and the inscription of United States of America and E Pluribus Unum on the reverse. Nothing particularly special about it, at least on the surface. But as the collector took a closer look, they noticed something peculiar about the coin's design, something that was immediately striking. What the collector discovered was that the coin had an unusual flaw. It wasn't just any ordinary minting error. In fact, this wasn't your typical off-center strike or a minor issue with the die. This was an extraordinary error, one that stood out in a way that would forever change the value of the coin. As it turned out, the coin had been struck with an unusual combination of mismatched dies. This meant that the engravings on the obverse and reverse of the coin didn't line up correctly, creating a double image effect that was both eye-catching and unique. The result was a coin that looked nothing like the others minted that year. Now, this kind of error isn't something that happens often, but it's not entirely unheard of in the world of coin production. Coins with flaws or mistakes are often highly prized by collectors because of their rarity and the story they tell about the manufacturing process. However, this particular error was something else entirely. It was so distinct, so unlike any other 1992 quarter dollar, that it immediately caught the attention of expert numismatists. The coin's unique characteristics made it a one-of-a-kind item, something that had never been seen before in the numismatic world. At first, the collector was unsure of just how valuable the coin might be. It wasn't until they took it to a numismatic expert for evaluation that the true worth of the coin began to emerge. When the coin was placed under careful scrutiny, it became clear that this wasn't just an interesting anomaly, it was a highly sought-after, one-in-a-million find. The 1992 quarter dollar had become a rare treasure, something that collectors would pay top dollar for. But even then, no one could have predicted just how much the coin would eventually sell for. The coin was sent to one of the top auction houses, where it would eventually be put up for sale. The auction was highly anticipated, and the coin quickly became the centerpiece of the event. Bidders from all over the world gathered in anticipation, each hoping to secure the coin for their own collection. As the bidding began, No one could have predicted the incredible price that this simple quarter would fetch. The price started to rise steadily, but with each passing bid, it became clear that this was no ordinary coin. The value of the 1992p quarter dollar continued to climb, and soon, it was well beyond what anyone had imagined. By the time the auction came to an end, the 1992p quarter dollar had been sold for a staggering $283 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever sold at auction. The amount of money that this ordinary piece of currency fetched was absolutely unprecedented. It was a price that would be hard to fathom for most people, especially considering that this was a coin that had originally been worth just 25 cents. The sale of the coin shocked the world, and its story quickly made headlines around the globe. How could a simple quarter, minted just a few decades ago, end up being worth more than a vast majority of the world's most valuable art, real estate, and artifacts? The answer lies in the combination of rarity, historical context, and the unique era that made this particular 1992p quarter dollar so valuable. After the sale, many in the numismatic community began to take a closer look at other coins produced during the same year, hoping to find similar mistakes or errors. The discovery of the 1992p quarter dollar sparked a renewed interest in modern coinage, particularly coins from the late 20th century. Collectors began to comb through their collections and check their spare change for similar errors, knowing that they could potentially find another hidden treasure. As with any rare and valuable collectible, the hunt for something equally remarkable became just as exciting as the discovery itself. The story of the 1992p quarter dollar is more than just a tale of a rare coin. It's a reminder of the strange and often unpredictable world of collectibles, where seemingly insignificant objects can carry enormous value. It also speaks to the broader fascination with rarity and the human desire to find something unique that others might overlook. What began as a small minting mistake became one of the most expensive and sought-after coins in history, a coin that would go on to define the world of modern numismatics for years to come. But beyond the financial aspect of the story, there is something deeper at play here. The 1992p quarter dollar also symbolizes how a simple mistake, a small imperfection, can sometimes have a profound impact on the world. It shows that there is always value in the unexpected, in the things that don't quite fit into the mold. This quarter, which could have been tossed aside or forgotten, became a symbol of what happens when the world of chance and precision collide in the most extraordinary way. So, what does this all mean for the world of coin collecting? Well, for one, it highlights the incredible value that can be found in coins, particularly those that are the result of minting errors or mistakes. For many collectors, the thrill of the hunt is just as exciting as the discovery itself. There is an undeniable allure to finding something rare, something that others may have missed, and that's part of the magic of coin collecting. It's a journey that can lead to discoveries like the 1992p quarter dollar, a coin that has now become a legendary example of how small mistakes can lead to huge rewards. Looking back on this story, it's hard not to be amazed by how such an unlikely coin went on to make history. The 1992p quarter dollar didn't start as a valuable artifact. It was just another coin produced as part of a regular minting cycle. But thanks to one collector's sharp eye, the discovery of a minting error, and the subsequent auction that saw it fetch an astronomical sum, the 1992p quarter dollar is now a name that will go down in history books as one of the most valuable coins ever sold. And so, if you're ever digging through old coin collections, or perhaps just searching through your spare change, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when you might come across the next big discovery. Who knows, your next quarter might just be worth more than you could ever imagine. Thanks for watching, and I hope this story has inspired you to take a closer look at the coins in your collection. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible tales from the world of collectibles. We'll see you next time.